Hey guys, so my name is Johnny Liddell Collins, and this is my presentation over virtual field trips, virtual museums for a class that I'm doing at University of Arkansas Monticello. The class is Introduction to Instructional Technology. So once it was common occurrence for teachers to take their students on field trips. This practice has fallen out of favor for various reasons. So there are several reasons that most schools forego field trips these days. The first one is scheduling conflicts. The schedule is just too full for teachers to take their kids on field trips, and there's also a lack of planning. Money is a huge issue. There's a lack of funding. Bureaucracy, there's too much red tape. And lack of assistance, there's not enough resource people to help with trips. Virtual museums and virtual field trips are a useful tool that any teacher can use to reinforce any curriculum. So guys, there are several reasons why we should take our kids on virtual field trips. In 1981, there was a study done by Barb and Malone that explains how children learn. And so I'm going to share with you the statistics in my next slide and explain how that relates to virtual field trips. So one of the major reasons to take our students on field trips are the different learning styles. In 1981, Barb and Malone did a study that said 25% of students learn through auditory means, 30% learn through visual means, 30% learn through both auditory and visual, and 15% learn through kinesthetic means. Field trips appeal to all our senses, so it can only help children learn. It's now easier than ever before to take our students on a field trip. All you need is a computer and a link to the internet. So there are essentially two types of virtual museums. There are presentations used to complement the brick and mortar museum, and then there's the presentation of the museum entirely online. So a museum generally offers virtual exhibits and virtual tours online to complement brick and mortar museums. They do this for various reasons. One of the reasons is that virtual exhibits allow a museum to display artifacts that cannot be displayed physically because of lack of space or age, and because the condition of the artifact may not allow for display. Also, virtual tours allow for interactive and engaging education. As teachers, we can now take our students to places that have never before been possible through virtual tours. For example, we can take them to places like the moon. So guys, in just a second, we're going to take a tour of a website that I found called moon.arounder.com. It is a great virtual tour of the moon, and I hope that you will take full advantage and use it in your classrooms. The name of the website is moon.arounder.com. So guys, this is the video that I was telling you about, or actually the website of the moon. When you go to this website, there will be 3 different moon virtual tours that you can take. You can also take your students on a tour of Mars. You can pan left or right, up and down, zoom in and out. It's actually very easy to do. I'm going to be silent for a little bit and let you look at the footage. So there is the moon vehicle and all the moon rocks. It's really gorgeous. In a minute we'll see the astronaut. And one thing I wanted to be sure to tell you that I noticed earlier was you can actually zoom in to the moon surface and see the footprints of the astronaut in the moon dust. It's pretty remarkable, and it's really cool looking. I really think that kids, not only in science class, but in any class, really would benefit from seeing this video. How beautiful is that? So our next slide tells us a little bit about online museums. There are technologies available to teachers that allow them to create virtual museums online. In fact, a teacher can build a virtual museum by using PowerPoint. There are a lot of great websites that have instructions on how to do this. The teacher also can create a virtual museum and field trip that allows him or her to concentrate on his or her needs and the needs of the students. There are also professionally created virtual museums and field trips. These use the latest technologies to create an appealing experience for all users. Let's take a look at one now.
Those who have never been inside the White House will basically be able to experience the same tour that you would get if you were able to come here for the public tour. So using the same technology that we use for Street View, we're using that technology indoors so that people will be able to walk around the White House inside.
As the evolution of the project goes, we've actually been pushing beyond the streets and looking for really more interesting places to go long-term, like interiors of spaces and the White House, right, which is a wonderful place to come.
Right now, Chris and Matt from the Street View team are actually pushing around this trolley that we created to do interior Street View captures.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing experience to be able to walk through the White House. Some incredible sights, incredible artwork. One of my favorites was the view out of the Blue Room out to see the Washington Monument. This is my first trip to DC to be able to actually see anything. It was very, very neat.
This is going to be great because we're really going to open up a lot of the areas that are viewable to the public, to the world, right? So that people can actually come in and virtually explore. Not only can they explore DC, so you've got great coverage of DC from Street View, but now they can jump from the imagery in the street into the White House and actually go into and see some of these famous rooms that are referenced. And as Obama's giving his latest speech, is walking down the red carpet, they can actually go into that room and see exactly where he was and where he did that.
A couple museums have the ability to have one painting captured in a very high resolution image. We call this the gigapixel. And what this is it's basically an image capture using very high resolution technology. And then we have computer technology associated with that camera that will then stitch the pixels together to create this ultra high resolution image that allows the user to zoom in at brushstroke level details. And we're just really excited to bring the same experience to users around the world once we make this imagery available. It's almost like you're getting your own private tour.
So guys, I hope that you enjoyed seeing how they made the White House into a virtual tour for the public to go in and see. Now, I hope you will forgive me for my clumsy attempt to show you exactly how the website works and some of its features and some of the rooms. Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to show you a little bit about how to take a virtual tour of the White House. The Google Art Project has done a fabulous job in creating this virtual tour for us. You can pan around in each of the rooms that you choose to visit. There are 2 different levels that you can tour of the White House. Over here in the map section you have level 0 and level 1. We're on level 1 right now. All you have to do is click level 0 and the floor plan will change and it'll take you to a different level of the White House. This website would be useful to use in any classroom, I think, really. I plan on using it in my civics and government classes, but in any American history class or even art class, it would be great to show all the different artwork that's in the White House. This is the library. We can just pan around and see all the different items that are in this room. Let's go back to level 1. The detail of these pictures is really remarkable. Let's go to a different room. The green room. Look how amazing. It's just gorgeous. Again, I'm just panning around to kind of give you an idea of how this works. I hope that you will choose to use this, like I say, in your classroom. I told you that my attempt at showing you the website would be clumsy, but I hope you got some idea of the things that you can do and the things that you can see when you take this trip to Washington, D.C. to the White House. I thought that it was really amazing. Here are a short list of museums that offer virtual tours: the National Gallery of Art, the CIA Museum. The Louvre is a wonderful place to see a tour. The Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History is also a great place to go on a virtual tour. Steps for planning a virtual field trip include explaining the purpose to your students, provide your students with background information on the topic, decide how students will participate in the trip, research different websites that are useful in developing virtual field trips. The possibilities are virtually endless. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation on virtual museums, virtual field trips. I hope that you find some of this information useful and can take it back to your classroom and have your kids go with you on a virtual field trip. Thank you so much for your time.